Okay, so it is absolutely freezing today. I sort of don't know why I'm doing this, but yeah, we're in a car park somewhere in West London. I thought I'd try out some night photography. Trying out doing it with the Canon A1. I haven't tried night photography before properly, so I didn't want to use an expensive film. I've got a couple of frames left on the camera. It's Kodak Color Plus 200. It's a cheap film. I've got a couple of frames left on that roll. So I thought to myself, what better way to use up those last frames than to test out and experiment with some night photography. Yeah, my hands are getting cold, so let's get on with it. Okay, so I've set up my first shot, and if I've used my light meter correctly, it's telling me to do f11, and it's telling me to do about 50 seconds. So, fingers crossed. Location. I pretty much got all the shots I sort of wanted to get at the supermarket just now. So I cycled over to Hyde Park, which is not too far from where we were just now. And for a few weeks, I've been wanting to get this photo of Winter Wonderland. And if you, at the moment right now, Winter Wonderland is probably one of the biggest attractions in London. I absolutely hate Winter Wonderland. I think it's an absolute hellhole. But it is good for one thing, it's got a lot of neon lights, and initially I was going to take a photo of all the neon lights from the other side, but as I was cycling over, I noticed the reflections that it was casting on the water, and it just looked incredible. So I've set up shop right here, and yeah, let's hopefully it turns out nicely. Basically, all those photos that you saw were the frames that were left on that roll. I've been itching to do some night photography, but I haven't really, just haven't had the confidence really to take it on, what with reciprocity failure and whatnot. Before I went out, I was trying to look up for information on the sort of reciprocity failure for Kodak Color Plus, and I just couldn't find anything. So I kind of just took a bit of a gamble. There's information on reciprocity failure for Portra 160 and Portra 400. So I just sort of just winged it really. Basically working off of those graphs for Portra 160 and Portra 400, I kind of just guesstimated. Basically all I did was, if my light meter was telling me 30 seconds, I added on maybe 15 to 20 seconds, depending on how dark it actually was. When I scanned the photos, some of them actually came out a bit too bright. If I were to do this again, I would actually, I probably wouldn't add on that many more seconds. Quite interesting actually. I'm really surprised at how well they actually turned out for such a cheap film. I was kind of worried because this is a cheap film. I didn't know how the dynamic range was going to fare. I was really worried that all these photos were just going to turn out completely either too bright or just completely black. My favorite shot, I'd say, were the Sainsbury's sign. I just love that glow on the tarmac. That just looked so cool. And my second favorite one was the one of the old vintage car. There's a little glow on the rear wheel. I actually put a light underneath there, the little aperture light. It's not the new one, but the older one. It's a little aperture light. In my head I had this idea of just like adding a pop of light there. And the funny story is that a resident came out and asked me what I was doing. He thought I was some sort of he just thought I was looking a bit suspicious. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just taking some photos, and I just felt so awkward and weird trying to explain to this man what I was doing. Yeah, it's given me so many new ideas for like just general photography now, thinking about getting bigger lights and probably some RGB lights, and finding, you know, think of ways of where else I can use them, you know. Yeah, so if you were wondering if you could shoot cheap film at night, the answer is yes, you can. So yeah, share this with your mum, share this with your dad, subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is growing slowly but surely, and I love all the comments that you guys leave. It just shows me that you guys appreciate the work. Follow me on Instagram at Zain Shoots Film. Check out my portfolio at zainreaser.com. And with all that said and done, guys, keep learning, keep shooting. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.